The popcorn moment brought to you by Boer Remodeling. BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com. You need a new kitchen. You need a new bathroom. You need a basement that actually works to be a part of the home. If it's inside the four walls, you want to talk to Boer and talk to them about their process. Talk to them about the kitchen you've always dreamed of. It is absolutely possible. You're not moving. You know you're going to stay. Now you got to make your house work for you. You have to increase the value of your home, not for resale, for your everyday living. People forget about this. It's not always about what you do when you sell the house. It's about living in the house and making the house work for you. That's what Boer Remodeling does. You can talk about just an upgrade, if you will, a modernization, just a new look, or you can really rethink that kitchen, the flow of that kitchen, how it fits your life today with a growing family or maybe being empty nesters. Boer Remodeling, their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation to that final bit of construction means you know everything that's happening every single step of the way, and you are going to love the results. Boer delivers quality work on time with a service-oriented attitude. Talk to them today. 317-852-5546. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-852-5546. Boer Remodeling. 852-5546 or online at Boer. BOOHER. BoerRemodeling.com. The popcorn moment. Let's go. It's a story you need to hear to believe. Then grab your popcorn, because there is more. Really quick, because the chat room was discussing it. We were discussing gas taxes and how gas taxes, because there was this conversation about tolling, and Indiana Republicans never, ever happy with the amount of money they have. Now we need to discuss tolling certain roadways, because, we're the crossroads of America, and these roads are getting used by people out of state, and they should pay for this. But Hoosiers are going to pay for this as well. And I said, you can toll if we're going to lower the gas tax. And the point made in the chat room was the gas tax never actually went to the roads, went to, I believe, the general fund. My argument was not specifically where every bit of every dollar goes from every tax, but rather the idea of where is the give? Why is there no give from this General Assembly? And if you think it's going to come from the Democratic Party, you're absolutely out of your head. Where is the give? Where somehow Hoosier families aren't told that every second it's on you. You have to give more. You have to do more. You have to pay more. To the Republican Party. Man, I've really been on you today. And maybe there's good reason. You can't have Diego Morales and Micah Beckwith buying $90,000 cars with our money, right? It was with our money. It wasn't not with our money, was it? It was with our money. And then tell us, oh, by the way, pay a higher tax, and then, of course, we're going to charge you to drive on the roads. We're going to charge you to drive on the roads. They're driving $90,000 vehicles on the roads, and they're never going to have to pay the toll. But we can't afford a $90,000 vehicle because we're paying more for tolls. Are you telling me the Republican Party of Indiana doesn't get this? You're that obtuse? Well, you know what? Let's use a better word. You're that thick? Son of a bitch. Okay. That's a problem. Did we play the popcorn moment? Did we do it? Did we start? Okay, allow me to bring you the popcorn moment if I could. I'm going to dig into this a little bit more on Tony Katz today. But there's this story regarding refugees from South Africa. And the issue that the Democratic Party has in taking in these refugees from South Africa, I think it was like 50 to 60 of them, that were all vetted. And the problem that they clearly have is because these refugees are white. The evil of apartheid should never be forgotten. Apartheid is evil, pure, raw, unadulterated evil. In the days, in the years, I should say, after the end of apartheid in South Africa, you had new people taking control of the country. And there is absolutely not only a horrific constitution that's in place, but there is a full-on assault and attack going on against white Afrikaners. Period. Land being taken. It's people chanting in rallies with thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, kill the white person. It's a horrific scene. And so Trump has allowed in like 50 some odd refugees, and the Democratic Party has a problem with this because there's not a genocide in South Africa. I guess they're waiting. And the argument got brought up that you seem to have some places where you'll take refugees from and some places where you won't. This was CNN, the question asked to Scott Jennings.
You're hearing from the South African president, and there are two bits of information happening here at the same time. The United States itself has never officially said that there is a genocide in South Africa, none whatsoever. But they have said officially that there is a genocide going on in Sudan. So why are Afrikaners being allowed in who are white and the Sudanese are being closed out? I'll start with you, Scott.
I don't know. I don't know if they weigh one against the other that way. I mean, I do think it's not alleged discrimination that these people are facing in South Africa. I mean, the law there absolutely allows their property to be confiscated. They are subject to racial discrimination. Some have been subject to violence from some reports that I have read. I mean, we're talking about 50-something people, and the people who seem to be angriest about this today had no problem with 20 million coming here, some of the worst people in the world coming here, including gang members and so on and so forth. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for the folks who are outraged today after what happened to this country over the last several years, over 50-something people who are clearly being discriminated against in South Africa. Now,
Scott Jennings starts by saying, I don't know. And he should have left it there because he gets into a little bit about whataboutism. I have no issue with refugees being allowed into the country. I have an issue with people lying about refugee status, which is what happened on the southern border for years. Guatemalans, Hondurans, Colombians, etc., lying about refugee status and being coached on how to lie regarding refugee status. That's the issue. And I don't mind an investigation into every single person. If someone's lying about their refugee status, throw them out, throw them in jail, however you want to handle it. But the idea that we take them from South Africa but not Sudan, that was an interesting argument. And the problem with that argument is completely and totally done via a racial lens. And when the left engages in a racial lens, as they always do, they fail to take a look a bit deeper. If we take a look at Sudan, which is a horror show, I don't say no. And I don't claim an expertise. If we're going to argue that a group of people A is slaughtering a group of people B, we have not answered the question whether or not the group of people B are still good people that we would want in the country. Are they people who can be vetted, or are they people of an equalized radicalness to Group A but aren't strong enough to destroy Group A? Am I to believe that the panel at CNN there has an expertise on Sudan? Everybody's got an expertise on everything because they were able to utilize a little AI? That's not the way this works. The question has to be about the group in question and whether or not they are compatible with the American way of life, because just allowing in the refugee without a demand to doing things the American way is simply not tenable. That's the question. And people are going to look at that and say, my gosh, Tony, that's racist. No, that's honest. And if you want to come at me for this, let's go to work. But I'm the only person seemingly bringing up a point that is so obvious, I'm surprised nobody else has brought it up. If you're going to compare things solely based on a color of skin, that is the leftist, progressive, Marxist, right? Because you're viewing everything as oppressed and oppressor, 99% and 1% proletariat bourgeoisie. It is not looking at things analytically. The question regarding people in Sudan, and certainly there's some innocent people in Sudan, is who are you letting into the country? Because they're being slaughtered by Group A doesn't mean that they're good people who won't engage a problem for you. And we should be looking at that and then finding out the answer. I'm not saying I have it. I am saying that if you're not willing to look at that possibility and then make sure you're engaged fully to find out whether or not these people are safe to be in America, well, then we're making a mistake. Fully vetted is our story here. But they want to make it racial. I, for one, am not shocked. Matt Bear has got traffic.